whether you're a celebrity, an influencer on Twitter or anywhere else, I think right now the overwhelming energy of the space is very short term. I would call it greed. I think that many are not spending their time on education, teaching people about seed phrases or cold storage on a ledger.
We are joined by Gary, the chairman of VaynerX, CEOs and founder of VaynerMedia and VaynerSports, and most recently, the creator of VeeFriends. We spoke with Gary about his personal multi-million-dollar NFT collection, how he practices accountability to his token holders, and his NFT predictions for summer 2022. The consumer blockchain is the biggest technology shift we have right now, Vaynerchuk said, the biggest since the dawn of the public internet. In the broadest possible view, he sees opportunities practically beyond belief. Unfortunately, he considers the execution in the NFT space at the micro level to be a cliché gold rush at the present moment. And as with any gold rush, the vein eventually runs dry.
VeeCon is the utility part of a NFT project I launched last year to stand up an intellectual property called VeeFriends. When I launched VeeFriends way back in May 2021, which seems a billion years ago in NFT land, I knew that most people weren't taking advantage of the smart contract, and I felt that the art and collectible part of NFT land was very interesting. I like that stuff, but the real game was what the smart contract is, and I figured the biggest value that I could bring in the infrastructure I had was a super conference, the things I was affected by going through the game in Web 2, like South by Southwest and others. And so VeeCon is the first, VeeCon this year, is the first of 3 conferences that I'm throwing that came with the first NFT Series 1 VeeFriend. Huge football fan. US Bank Stadium here in Minnesota is one of the newest football fields in the world, and it's a remarkable venue. And the excitement's there. I mean, the lines are already huge this morning. We had the kickoff party last night that went tremendously well. And to be frank, I'm just kind of focused on over-delivering to the thousands of people that have attended this event. I'm in agreement. I think there's, whether you're a celebrity, an influencer on Twitter or anywhere else, I think right now the overwhelming energy of the space is very short term. I would call it greed. I think that many are not spending their time on education, teaching people about seed phrases or cold storage on a ledger, or how to even connect a MetaMask, or how to buy Solana or Ethereum. This happens all the time. Web 2, Web 1, things that I've lived through, reading the history books of other big moments of innovation. Obviously because of who they are, celebrities are going to get a lot of the attention, and they have responsibility with the size of their audience. But I would tell you that it's not super exciting out there. I'm sure is watching right now and is excited for that question, because he is putting the final touches on our location in New York. So we're still on track for Q4, Q1 next year, but what we've been doing to keep interest and intrigue and value to the NFT holders of Fly Fish Club is we've already done pop-up events in Florida, in New York, the Hamptons. There's one here in Minnesota this weekend for the holders of Fly Fish Club. So this is what's so cool about the blockchain. We know who the users are because we know who owns the actual NFT, and our ability to innovate and execute pop-ups or anything else is very high given the technology. And so we're keeping them happy and engaged while we finally break ground and open here next year.
Okay.
The fragile moment is in the valuations, things we care about, you, me, the audience. But the consumer behavior and adoption is growing very rapidly. This is like 98, 99, 2000 internet stocks. The internet stocks by Wall Street were grossly overvalued, and there was an internet crash, and people were like, oh, the internet's a fad. Meanwhile, consumers were using it like crazy, and only growth was going on at that time. Same's happening right now. In the correction of NFT pricing and crypto pricing, that is not slowing down the adoption of people in the game, buying their first NFTs, buying a Solana for the first time, or an Ethereum. And so brands, they don't care about what the value is. They care about our customers doing it, and can I use that as a gateway to create consideration for them to buy my soda, my sneaker, whatever that company is selling. And so we're seeing huge demand. Avery, our president at Vayner NFT, has never been busier, from Pepsi to Bear Paint to to Budweiser. We are bombarded on a daily basis. A lot of brands are making the mistake of working with their creative agencies to do a campaign in NFT land that is often tone deaf, doesn't understand the Discord and Twitter communities, doesn't understand the security vulnerabilities, and we have seen a lot of sloppy work. On the flip side, we've seen brands really lean into what is a profound thing, which is for the first time ever, we can see marketing as a profit center. I don't think so. I don't think this is just Ukraine, inflation, the global markets down. I think it's probably 70% of it, 50% of it. But I think, like I mentioned earlier, there was too much gold rush interest and people just flipping. The core foundational interest is growing. The people that come in for a quick flip, call it Beanie Babies versus stuffed animals. The Beanie Baby crowd needs to lose in their day trading for them to leave, and then you get settled in. And so, I view this pretty much as March 2000 in internet stock land. You got rid of a lot of the bad behavior, a lot of the greed, a lot of the day trading, short-term greed, and you started having the foundational investors focused on it. I think from the investing standpoint, that's what we're seeing on the NFT front, but we're seeing more and more utilities. There's a lot of people here for VCon that own the NFT, just to be at the conference for the next 3 years. I think as companies and entrepreneurs start to understand that it is utility first with a hint of collectability instead of the era we're in right now, which is collectability with a tiny hint of utility. Once we make that flip as operators, I think we'll see a very different result in the ecosystem.